What was it like working with Aaron Sorkin?
It was wonderful, absolutely. And I say that as an actor who has worked with many wonderful people and many terrible people. It was. I'd been told he's not going to let you change a word. He won't like it if you ad lib. Be very careful. And it was not that at all. It was generous from the first moment. The fact that he offered me the part in the first place was extraordinary to me because I loved it, and I wasn't. I thought, oh, who turned this down? But I just was crazy about the part, and I was crazy about every day on the set, which it doesn't happen very often with that wonderful group of actors to watch every day and work with, and a director who actually came up to you, talked to you, said something nice. Maybe this could be a little more this could be a little more that. He once came up to me and said, "You're pronouncing that word the way a classical actor would pronounce it." And I said, "Well, how would you?" And he said it regular. And I said, "Oh, okay, sorry." Judge Hoppin brought out the theatrical in me. I had to be very careful.
Can you explain the research and the preparation that went into playing this character?
Yes, when I play a real person, as I did with Frost Nixon, I read everything I can find about the person. I don't do it with fictional characters at all. But I read whatever I can find, and then I let it all go and go on with my imagination. But the piece of that character that's real stays inside me. And there weren't a great deal of books about him. Every one of them said the same thing. He was corrupt beyond all measure, and he knew he would convict them all. And so, but I never played that. I just played what I believed. I played, I'm right. You're all wrong. I'm right.
You were alive when the trial happened. What do you remember about that time?
I don't remember anything because I was just turning 30. I was just divorced, and all I was interested in was running around and acting. So that the world of politics was of no interest to me. I wasn't a very good citizen related to those things. Now I'm watching every day, and I'm very concerned. But at 30, it's not, at least it's not where my mind was at all. So
Got it.
Kent State, I think, Kent State had more of an effect on it. You know.
So this cast is filled with heavyweights in their own right, and each brought their own process to it. Can you tell me what it was working with such an expansive cast?
It was a totally unique experience because we all had to be there every day. There was no day on the set when all the leading actors weren't together and the 300 extras were there most of the time. So it was sort of like being in an opera or a giant production of something. In movies, ordinarily, you will work with one actor and see him for 2 days when you do your scene, and maybe you'll have one big scene, and maybe you'll not work with a lot of others. But we were together on rainy day after rainy day in a little town in New Jersey from 7 in the morning until 6 or 7 at night. It was a glorious, one time only experience, I think. Never happen again.
The story has so much relevance, and especially to the moment right now. How do you think younger audiences will respond to it versus older audiences?
Oh, I think this is the perfect storm, this movie. The timing of it is, and there was no rule of law about this. Aaron started it 12 years ago. It went through so many ups and downs. Even after he offered me the movie, it all shut down, and that was it. It was going to be over. And then it started up again, and we managed to shoot it right before the pandemic started. And now it's opening 2 weeks before an election. What could be more? And nobody planned it that way. It's just it worked out. In a funny way, you can say it was meant to be this way. It just was.
Mm.
I think your question was how will young people feel? I think they're going to feel. I think they'll cheer it, and they'll start calling out, "The whole world is watching," at the end of the movie. They'll do it too. I think young people particularly will like it.
You talked a little bit about what it was like shooting. Can you talk more about what the energy was like on set? Did you all feel the magnitude of what you were making?
I don't know that we felt the magnitude of it. What I did think we felt was a particular camaraderie, a very uh, unusual feeling of ease. I mean, I never went off and went ate donuts with them at the craft service, but I would have long talks with Sasha and with uh, Eddie, and I had just discovered an actor named Joseph Gordon-Levitt, whom I had sadly not seen before, and now I will look for him. I thought he was wonderful. Every one of them brought something original and unique. And as the judge watching, I had the rare privilege of being able to watch it in action as opposed to being part of it all the time, because I was sitting back. So again, I will say that it's a one of a kind experience. Sasha said this too. I don't think we'll ever, any of us, have it again this way. And of course, if it's a success, that's a cherry on the cake.